By the time I left home, I left at 14. I lived in 44 homes in 16 states. I thought, God, what is my forever home gonna be like? You know, growing up, you know, watching the Waltons and saying, God, I wish I had that. It's like the mom and the dad and the table and the family and the dinners and that's what I wanted. That was my dream. I have my dreams. I have my dreams. And my kids. Everything I want. Drive-in here, it's called Highway 55 or Highway Drive-In. Isn't that cool? I think they're still open. I think they just changed manager or owners. You guys, let's go to the drive-in Saturday night. Ask your friends if, oh look, they're riding a horse. Ask your friends if you guys want to go, and boy, I tell you what, before you knew it, we'd have 6, 7 neighbor kids jump in and we'd all take them to the drive-in, grab blankets. I'd pop some popcorn in the microwave before we left. Yeah, so the kids love that. That's memories. I'm all about memories. I love making memories. So today, we went to all the homes that we moved to here in Tennessee. The first one we took you to was Petersburg. It was an old Victorian house. Rory actually rented us that one. We stayed there 6 months. I remember living in this house and there was a big old sheepdog. I ain't kidding you, this thing was huge, and you know what he'd do? We had an old Buick, and he'd jump on top of it. I'll never forget that. I push mowed this yard a lot of times. It looked a lot better when we lived in it. And it's a great old place. Wow. Isn't this a great old place though? I love it. Great old farmhouse. Oh, nothing. Just gonna turn around. I have not been to Petersburg since we moved 20 years ago. You know that? 20 years. We moved here February 2nd of 2000. I remember. I love this house out here in Petersburg, though, that Rory rented us. It was like $600 a month, which was cheap. You know, you gotta figure these days. And it was huge, big old 2-story Victorian house. And I really enjoyed decorating it, and, you know, because I love doing that kind of stuff. And I remember it was really hard times for me and Dad though when we moved here, because before we moved here we called Waste Management in Nashville and we said, you know, we're moving here on such and such date, and they're like, all right, come on, we got a position, a roll-off position ready for Don Gary, you know, you'll make this amount, da-da-da. And we're like, all right. So we moved down here, we call Waste Management, and they're like, we don't know who you talk to, we don't have no positions ready. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And they're like, no, we ain't got nothing. And I'm like, oh my God. So for 6 months, me and Dad lived off credit cards. And Dad got a job in Birmingham. No, where was it? It was in Alabama. It was literally an hour and a half one way. to Alabama that he got a job as a, throwing garbage in the back of a truck because he would not quit Waste Management. That man is so devoted to Waste Management. If Waste Management knew the crap that we went through for them, because he could have gone to work for BMI making freaking $28 an hour, but he wouldn't do it. But anyway, I'll tell you this story, and it's a true story. Literally, the week we talked about it, so I was like, we can't live off $200 a week, and that's what he was making. By the time that they took out insurance, child support, because Donnie was married before me for like 4 months, had twin boys with this woman, Michael and Philip, love them to death. They live in Indiana. So we paid child support, insurance, everything. By the time that we got, I need to slow down because the cops are bad out here. By the time that we got done paying child support and insurance, taxes got taken out, we literally, Dad brought home $214 a week. I even tried to go and get government help, but they said, no, you made too much money. I'm like, are you kidding me? And they're like, no. And so they go by the gross, is that right, before everything gets taken off? And that's bullcrap. I don't think that's right. I still need to slow down. So anyway, so basically we lived off credit cards. So I remember the week that me and Dad sat down and I was like, all right, you're going to have to go back to Texas. You're going to have to go back there, live with Elmer, a friend of ours. Just send me your paychecks until Waste Management has a position for you here in Nashville, because we can't live off. And so he agreed. So we were about to do that. We didn't have no phone, living off hardly anything. And then I was like, you know what, before you leave tomorrow, let me call Waste Management just for the heck of it, Donnie, while you're at work tomorrow, and just see if anything's changed. So I called Waste Management Nashville, and I'll never forget this. I was calling and I was like, hey, can I talk to somebody in the roll-off position about my husband, Don Gary? We've been waiting. You guys say that you're going to let us know. I've left you my brother's number. Our phone got disconnected. And he's like, well, let me dispatch you back to the roll-off supervisor. He gets on the phone and he's like, oh, Miss Gary, we've been trying to get a hold of Don Gary for over a month now. We've had a position open. And I'm like, oh my God. He said, we've been trying to call this other number, but it doesn't have a voice message, which was Rory's phone at the time, and he didn't have we didn't have any of that stuff at the time. So all this time, literally, they've been trying to get a hold of us. So the day before Dad was heading back to Texas, he got his job. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Because that was stressful. So that week he went in, got his drug test, boom, work. Then, not crazy how God works. No, I'm sorry, we moved to Carter's Creek, lived there for about 4 years. So in this water stream, we used to see the gallon, we used to come down here. So this is where we moved after Petersburg. This is on Carter's Creek, and this is the home on Carter's Creek that we lived.
I can just shoot it.
Isn't that great? I love it. We loved that house. And then over here to the left is where Mr. and Mrs. Dameron, the owners, lived. Great old home. So we lived there probably from 2000 to 2004, maybe, and then moved to Weaver Farm, where we're headed to next. Then we moved to Spring Hill and Weaver Farm. Lived there for 14, 15 years, maybe, yeah. So this is Weaver Farm. This is where we lived for, gosh, maybe 14 years. This is our house right here. Isn't it sweet? It looks exactly the same. We had a pool in the back. Isn't that great? But anyway, so yeah, we pulled out of here March 12th, maybe, of 16, and I never returned. Haven't been back since. Moved into a hotel room for 30 days, waiting for our people to move out. Dad got the flu the minute we had to move. He timed that just right, didn't he? Friends, and yeah, it was great. We had a big pool in the back, lots of swim parties. You know, I have to admit, this was a really great little house to raise the kids up in. It really was. Hey, Pete! We moved here 4.5 years ago, and it was, I don't know, I never thought I would be living out here. I always wanted to. It was always my dream. You know, the restaurant's a mile down the road, but I never thought it was possible because, you know, these places were a fortune. I don't know. I just always wanted to be out here, but never thought I would. So one day, Rory called me. It was probably about a year before Joey got sick and said, "Hey, Marcy, remember Pete next door?" And I said, "Yeah." Well, his wife passed away, and he's moving to Florida, and he's putting his home up for sale. I hadn't even seen the house yet. I knew what it looked like, and I knew Pete took really good care of it, but I've never been in the house, never looked at it, and I said, "Rory, you call Pete right now and tell him it's sold." Didn't even know what he was asking for. I just knew that I was meant to be here at that time. And so 4.5 years later, here I am. But it was almost like a godsend, because like right after I got here, within a year, Joey got sick. And I just knew that God put me here for a reason. And so now, you know, it's me, Rory, and Rory's in the middle, and then my sister Candy's on one side and I'm on the other. And we have dinner a lot together, and I cook a lot for the family, and we just spend a lot of time together, and it's really special. The restaurant's just a mile down the road, which I love that, just being right down the road. But I don't know, it's just, you know, my whole life I've been moving. You know, like I remember probably 6-7 years ago, I actually sat down and kind of tried, never really done it completely, but I tried to think about how many homes I'd lived in and how many states. By the time I left home, which I left really young, I left at 14, I had lived in, that I had come up with, I lived in 44 homes in 16 states. And that's, you gotta imagine, that's the time, you know, I was 14 years old.
Take a look at where you've been and how you've come so far. No matter where you find yourself, you're always where you are. Go anywhere you go, do anything you do, I'll be with you. Take a moment, take an hour, take another year. Start again or keep going, I'll always be right here. Feel anything you feel, hear anything you hear, you'll never disappear. When it feels like you're walking back, when you're out of luck and off the path, broken and far from home, just remember that you're not alone. Trying not to dig too deep, afraid of what you'll find. Give yourself the grace you show me all the time. 'Cause when you love yourself, you can give that love to someone else. Mornings come and seasons go, and life can get so hard. It's easy to forget the things that make you who you are. I hope that when you look at you, you see yourself the way that I do. When it feels like you're walking back, when you're out of luck and off the path, broken and far from home, just remember that you're not alone. In the face of another storm, when you're feeling like you're on your own, in that moment you can't control, just remember that you're not alone. Remember that you're not alone.
So we were never really, we never knew where to call home. And if you were to ask me now where I'm from, I would say here. I've been here 20 years. This is home. I've been here, I've never been in one place that many years. Like people like, where are you born at? I was born in Atchison, but, here we call home because I've been here 20 years, but never really call, like when we moved around when we were kids, we'd go to a place, we'd get friends, and then we'd have to leave 6 months later, or, mom would have to sell the whole house. An auctioneer would come out and give us $300 for the whole thing, and we'd jump in the car and put whatever we could fit in a pillowcase and go to the next place. And I don't blame mom for doing that, because I know mom was just doing it because she was surviving. She was a single mom with 5 kids, and she was just in survival mode, and, I get that. She did the best she could. But I tell you what, it really taught us kids what family's really about. Taught us what, the value of $1 is, and really what it did more than anything as an adult and raising my own kids. I just wanted some stability for my kids. Michael really never got that because we still moved around a lot. I was a single mom for a couple years till I met Don Gary. We moved around a little bit, but I don't know. I just wanted that for my kids. I wanted them to know what it was like to just be one place. And so hopefully I did that for them. I hope. But yeah, it's been good. Life's been good. I don't regret a minute of it. I don't regret our childhood. I know I look back and think, God, I don't know how we did it sometimes. I remember going, weeks without food and groceries, and, mom being gone weeks at a time, and us kids just being like, I don't know, it was crazy. But, I guess it just brought us closer together. We'd moved to Texas, and next thing you know, Rory's moving to Texas. Mom's moving to Texas. I'd moved to Florida, or Mom had moved to Florida, and I moved to Florida, and then, we all ended up in Florida, and then Rory moves to Tennessee, and then Mom moves to Tennessee, then I moved to Tennessee, then Candy moves to Tennessee, and we all, it was kind of like we're all just like, we wanted that connection that we've never had, that we had as kids, but we never really had, So, I don't know, I kind of always thought, God, what is my forever home going to be like? And I always thought, maybe this is it, but I don't feel like it is. I feel like this is, it's a great home. I've put in so much care and love into it, and really made it a great home, but it's not my forever home. I always thought one day I would build the Walton's house, and because I always remember growing up, watching the Waltons and saying, God, I wish I had that, less like the mom and the dad and the table and the family and the dinners and that's what I wanted. That was my dream. But I have my dream. And my kids. I have everything I want. I breathe. I do know that, you know, even if I don't get my Walton's house, I might get a big camper. You know, we have a little camper, and me and Donnie love going camping. So maybe it's where we just get a big old camper and go lake to lake, because I love to fish and go fishing and, you know, just enjoy life. Because that's what it's about when it comes down to it. It's about living life. Yeah. And so I told Michael, you know, I want to build a Walton's house. Have everybody move in with me. All the kids and grandkids. And everybody just gives me this funny look like, is she serious? What? Seriously? I'm like, seriously, I want that. But I don't think nobody else wants it except me. But it's alright. But no, I really think that you know, with my life and the way that I've moved around, and, you know, I think a camper is the way to go for me. You know, me and Dad just pick up and go from lake to lake and go fishing, and we really, I mean, Dad loves it too. We love that. That's just, you know, that's just something that we really enjoy to do. So I think that's probably going to be our forever home. And then plus always having this place to come back to, you know, knowing that this is where it is, you know, our home. We have a place to come to, the kids, grandkids. But yeah, I think that's, you know, I think that's gonna be it. I think that's it. Hey you guys, I just want to say thank you for watching. This means a lot to me. Bye.
Hey y'all, I just wanted to give a little more clarity to us stopping Mondays with Marcy. It's not done for good. It's just, there's a lot going on right now. We're going through some changes. Hannah and I are going to start vlogging a whole lot more, and the truth is, we spend tons of time with Mom. So it's not like she's not going to be in the vlog anymore. She's still going to be in it all the time. We just feel like rather than setting aside one day, trying to find time to meet up, come up with ideas, and just shoot it about Mom, she'll just be in it all the time. And maybe later on, as things pan out a little bit more, we could start them back up as I get better at filmmaking and storytelling and stuff. But I wanted to clarify that for everybody that watches to see Mom and stuff. I know there's probably a lot of folks out there that do. Hopefully you'll stick around and keep watching the videos and catch Mom in them as they come out. But I hope you guys are enjoying it. We love y'all, and we'll see you on the next one.